Hey guys, hope you all had a great July the 4th weekend. It is now July the 5th, and markets have opened about half an hour ago on Australia's open, and markets have gapped up quite a bit. As you can see, the S&P 500 is up close to 0.5%, Dow Jones 30 is up about 0.59, and Nasdaq is up about 0.5% as well. These prices are based off of Friday's prices, however, and the U.S. exchanges were closed on Friday due to the observation of July the 4th. The exchanges were open, but global futures were indeed trading. And on Friday, the markets were actually down quite a bit. I believe the Dow Jones was down about 0.5%, the S&P was down about a third, and Nasdaq was pretty much flat. But today, all the indices are up, and quite a bit, I'll add. I believe that the coronavirus news wasn't too bad over the weekend, and Wall Street already priced in most of it, and so the absence of bad news is supposedly good news. We have seen that the market rallied a bit higher. Quite honestly, I'm pretty surprised at the moment. We've opened pretty much above Thursday's close and Friday's open. In my last video, I did say I was short and that I expected on Thursday that we'd see a reversal. On Friday, we actually did see a bit of a drop, so that pretty much confirmed my initial thesis that we would see a reversal, but this candle today throws everything kind of out of whack, I gotta be honest, and so I'm a little less certain of a short-term market reversal, but at the moment I still do believe that the markets are quite overbought, and so I'm still not long at this point, but I do believe that we may just move quite a bit higher, actually. Nasdaq is pretty much nearing all-time highs yet again, but if you look at like the Nasdaq ETF, this is Thursday's close, or pretty much about at this point 0.62 higher than Friday's close, since Nasdaq was down about like 0.1% on Friday, and now it's up about 0.63% on the futures. So really, Nasdaq is about 0.5% higher than where it was here, which is about 1.25 points. So Nasdaq really is trading at around here. Like at this point, I'm thinking we are due in for a bit of a pullback. Even if you are long, you'd have to admit at this point we've rallied quite a bit since the bottom end of this channel. The way I see it is that Nasdaq is in an uptrend at the moment. I'm not betting that we're going to see a trend break anytime soon until we see a very strong confirmation of such a thing. But even if you're going long, I feel as though at this point you might be due in for a bit of profit taking. I mean, it's certainly been a very strong rally. Market prices are very high at the moment. But if it somehow breaks above the uptrend and goes even higher, let's say, at that point I'm not quite sure, what I'd be doing. I'm not going to be shorting at that point at all. If Nasdaq goes above this uptrend, at that point I think I just might be on the sidelines. I think buying in at this point is not worth the risk reward, since I'm more of a bargain hunter, so I like to buy dips. I don't like to buy rallies. So I'm not looking to buy into this at the moment, but I'm not short Nasdaq either, but I think I might be interested in closing my other positions if we see Nasdaq break the uptrend. Very fascinating thing to see. VIX is again down about 3% today. S&P really isn't down much from Thursday's close, and we're well below Thursday's highs. But depending on how this Monday candle moves, I might just consider closing my positions, but we'll have to see. If we look at the fib retracement on the S&P futures, we're pretty much nearing the 315 support. We actually broke above it on Thursday's session, but reversed right back down below towards the 0.5 level. And now we seem to be going higher again. We might be testing 618 again. I think it's very likely we will. We've tested it a lot in the past. We haven't really closed above it. And if we see a close above 0.618, which is the 315 level, I think I'd be then interested in closing my short positions as a stop loss, because at that point, I think the markets might just go higher. I think above the 618 level, if you're still short, I think that 316 level, equivalent to Thursday's high, is going to be the next level of resistance. We've seen this level actually tested once before in mid-June. And so it might act as a little bit of resistance, but if we break above there, pretty much the next area we're going to test is going to be the 323 area towards early June highs. And I think if we do break above the 316 level and close above it, it's very likely we will see this level. As a bear, I'm not quite pleased to say that at the moment, but I think it's important to realize that while trading, you have a hunch sometimes, and you have a hunch and you might be 60% right, 70% right. If you make like 100 guesses, you might be 65% right, let's say. You have to realize that for the other 35%, it's better not to be stubborn, admit you make a mistake, take a break, and try again in the future than to hold on to your initial positions. I blew up several accounts because I wouldn't sell. I wouldn't close my position. I don't like stop losses. It didn't feel good to close a trade in the red. But when you're trading something that's pretty unpredictable, I'd say, like the S&P, you always have to be, willing to accept the possibility of losing, and you always have to be ready to have a stop loss, in my opinion. If it's one thing I learned from trading in the past few years, it's you need to define what your limits are. It's like, I'm not saying you should cut your positions right now and run. I'm still short at the moment. I'm not going to close my positions until we see the 618 being broken and then closing above the 618 perhaps. But it is important to know when to tap out. So at the moment, from my Thursday analysis, I am in the red at the moment, I believe. The Dow Jones actually fell quite a bit on Friday, more than the S&P, but I still think I'm down from there. Yeah, Dow Jones is up about 2/3%. My positions are probably going to be in the red tomorrow morning if we open at this level, and so I'd have to see what happens on Monday and see where we go from there. If you were a bull over the weekend, congratulations. I'm not sure how you managed to hold on to the risk, but certainly it did pay off. We are now up quite a bit. If you held more volatile positions, good on you. Probably made quite a bit. If you're a bear, I'm also a bear at the moment, and so I'm holding on to my positions at the moment, but we'll have to see what happens on Monday. I may be closing my positions depending on how we close. If you're trading the Nasdaq, I think at the moment, if we break above the uptrend, as I previously mentioned, I don't know where we're going to be going from there. I think at that point, I wouldn't be sure at that point. If we break above this uptrend, at that point, we might actually just go to the moon and see a tech bubble. So you don't want to be betting against something where you don't know where the next high is. And so with all that being said, I wish you best of luck in your trading, and take care.